Welcome to another basic English lesson. Today, we're going to learn how to talk about where you live, how to answer the question, where do you live? First, you can start by saying, I live in, and then mention your city or country. For example, I live in Tokyo, or I live in Japan. Simple, right? You can also add more details by saying, I live in city with my family, or I live in city by myself. For example, I live in Osaka with my family, or I live in Fukuoka by myself. Another way to answer is by mentioning the type of home you live in. You could say, I live in an apartment, or I live in a house. You can even combine them, I live in a small apartment in Kyoto, or I live in a big house in Sapporo. Let's look at a few common examples. You might say, I live in a house in the countryside, or I live in an apartment in the city center. To ask someone where they live, you can simply say, where do you live, or do you live in the city or the countryside? Now, let's practice. Try saying, I live in, and add your city. Or, I live in an apartment, or I live in a house. That's all for today. Keep practicing how to talk about where you live, and soon, you'll be able to share more about yourself in English. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe for more easy English lessons.